I guess we're ready to go, so we'll dive right into this thing. Super excited to get to have a chance to sit down with both of you. My name is Ethan Pierce. I have the Crypto Assets Institute, which is an organization that helps corporates and investment funds work with the blockchain economy and tokenized securities, enterprise blockchain, all kinds of fun things like that. Been in Paris for 15 years, so it's kind of home, definitely in that sense. Had the great pleasure to get to meet these two before and talk about their projects, but fun to get to talk about it in the context of the future of money. So to that stage, I'd like to welcome Sarah Diane Eck from Sandblock and Manu Outsuru from Doing Good. So welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, even. You can really say, hey, welcome. That would be great. Awesome. So maybe just to start, we have 20 minutes, so it's not long to dive into this amazing discussion. I think we're going to change the title slightly because for me, the future of money is tokenized and the future of money is decentralized. So we're going to expand on that just to give it context. And then I would love for the two of you to introduce yourselves, what you do, what you're currently working on, because you both have worked on a bunch of different things. So I think how that fits into the context of the future of money. So Sarah Diane, maybe to you first.
Yes, thank you, Ethan. I created a blockchain protocol like 5 years ago with the idea that we could have a reward circulate between retailers and consumers. At this time, it was really hard to find use case working on this protocol because it was an open source protocol that everybody could use based on a tokenized economy. We were not capital-based, but token-based. We will talk about that, I think, in this panel. And we decided to create another company, which is called Surprise, that uses this protocol in a business way. I mean, Surprise has its own business model and use the technology as the stack to rely on. And at the beginning of this year, we sold Surprise to NetReviews, which is one of the leaders in the review game. And what we are doing actually is to use the blockchain to store the scoring of each review and give a way to have more transparency on the way each review is moderated, and also value a review, because, for example, when you create some content, this content is used by other consumers and brands to assess the quality of a product, and the review itself has a quality. So I'm talking about that because when you see the future of money, you see that you have some community of consumers, communities of retailers, and so on, that are working on the same ecosystem. And a reward is a form of money, actually. At the beginning of the money and in ancient Egypt, money didn't exist, but they used a kind of reward program as a currency. So this is the topic I can share with you tonight.
From my side, Manu, originally from Venezuela, and my experience goes from looking for petroleum in Venezuela, and then when I came here to Europe, I started working with the startups, worked with Rocket Internet. I was the head of mobile for Jumia, which is the largest marketplace in Africa. Also, after that, worked with Microsoft, doing different marketplaces, basically connecting patients and doctors. And then after that, I got into the crypto rabbit hole, and I've been in the space for the last 6 years, more or less. First, I was tokenizing real estate, tokenizing venture funds and venture capital with the European legal framework. Did that for over 2 years, and then after that, I realized that tokenized securities are not really going to be adopted super fast. And that's when I decided to join what I thought was going to be the next big thing, and that's for me DAOs. I've been working in the DAO space for the last 3 years, initially with the Metacartel DAO, also with the LAO, which is one of the venture capitals that is completely on-chain, investing on different projects completely on-chain. And also, I'm one of the founding members of API3 DAO, which is a DAO focused on oracles. And right now, my main focus is Doing Good, which essentially is a marketplace that enables creators to tokenize their assets And at the same time, whenever the assets get sold, whenever the content gets sold, they stream money to social causes that they care about. So we're creating kind of like a game for doing good for humanity. So every time that there's a transaction happening in the platform, the creators, they basically stream money to the social cause, but also they become owners of the platform that they use. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I'm going to just permit myself to translate a little crypto in there that in case you don't know what a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. And if you've heard of DeFi, decentralized finance, if a company is decentralized or an activity is decentralized, who runs it? Well, in this case, it's the people who possess the tokens or the coin of a particular project that participate in its governance. So DAOs are a way to basically participate in the governance of a startup or of a crypto project, but really anything that has an association. Could be your building syndic, it could be the school board for a city, could be really any organization. An NGO could do this, where we could have a token that doesn't serve as a financial really mechanism. It's just simply there that possessing that token creates the ability to participate in governance. And this is a big piece of DeFi because decentralized finance is decentralized. So how do you run those projects? You do it with DAOs. But the next big thing you're going to see coming that is going to sneak up and take over a lot of really cool stuff is going to be DAOs, because it's escaping from crypto and it's creeping into the governance of all kinds of really cool things. So I just wanted to underline that a little bit because it might not be perfectly clear, but it's a brilliant concept, and the work that you've done in that is super interesting. We'll pull back into the future of money. This emergence of a new economy. You know, I don't know who is exactly in our audience, and if you are crypto friendly or a little bit like, if you lived through the ICO and the BS years where crypto was just crap, you know, what you might be thinking about some of this stuff. But we are clearly in a new world where blockchain technologies can solve real world problems in projects. And crypto, in the sense of tokenized securities, things around digital collectibles and NFTs, social tokens, all kinds of stuff that we're seeing where real use cases are being solved without it being speculative cryptocurrency stuff. So I think that's a great place for us to kind of dive in. I think a great validating factor of that the future of money might be in this space is the fact that Sorare, a French startup, just raised the highest French venture capital raise ever as a Series B, which is pretty early if you don't know how all that works, of over $600 million at a $4.3 billion valuation, and it is soccer NFTs, and it is 3 years old, and it is 15 people. And that company is just going to do amazing things in this space by applying tokenization to the money of digital collectibles and fantasy football in this case. So let's take that into NFTs and then complete it with the rewards thing. Why are NFTs interesting? Besides crappy digital art on Twitter, why does that make sense for the rest of us in the world of what would that mean? Why would that do good in the sense of your company? Why is it part of money?
Okay, so as we know, money usually is printed by governments, is created by governments. With crypto, let's say with tokens, like let's say ERC20 tokens, which are basically the tokens that most of the companies on Ethereum are using, it gave the opportunity for people to come together and release a network collectively and release, let's say, money collectively. And now with NFTs, it's going deeper. So it's going one step further. And now it's not a group of people, now it's the individual. So you as a person, you're able to create value. And not every one of you don't need to agree with me. Only if one of you agrees with me, that's enough. So that makes us, that makes it, let's say, that makes humans able to bring value or create value out of nowhere, if you want to think about it like that. But I think like what is cool about NFTs is that it's not only money, but it also can be a key for an event. It can be, you can build on top of it, which is also amazing. So it's just a piece of the puzzle or a Lego block, and you can build things on top of it. So you can have an NFT that it might be a digital art or a digital representation of something, but this NFT could be also, for example, the same NFT could be an access to an event, or it could be an access to
Zoom call or whatever. So yeah, to me, that's the most fascinating part of NFTs, is just that enables creativity and enables people to create things on top of it.
And so when we start, if we place these things next to each other, NFTs, which I'll pull back to that in a minute, but NFTs as the idea of a unique object, whether it's like a Magic the Gathering card or a Pokemon card or a comic book, a digital collectible that has some cool things baked into it that we can talk about extra stuff. Social tokens, which we can talk about whether it's a personal brand or something like the PSG, which I'll bring that back here in a second. But then right next to that, there's rewards. So how do you see, Sarah Diane, in the future of where money's going, all this stuff where we're really bringing the connection to an activity, a company, a sport, a team, a brand, an artist, all these things we're going to be connecting the stuff that's maybe collectible, like the art or the whatever that might be, through the NFT, providing access, maybe governance about picking the color of the next maillot for Paris Saint-Germain because you own PSG tokens, and then rewarding all these people. How do you see that gluing together?
Yeah, when you take the example of the major reward program of today, it's the Miles programs. It's a program that is centralized by some frequent flyer programs like Flying Blue and distributed to members. It's the major program today. It has brought some new dimension. It's not like a behaviorist reward, like you do an action, you get a reward. It symbolizes the distance you fly. What we have the ability to build with the blockchain is a reward program that represents the value of what the community brings to the program. So for example, in my use case, the reward is the token that secures the chain, the blockchain itself. I enjoy this time also to specify that the kind of blockchain we use is a total green blockchain, which is something really important to underline in the topic we are discussing, the future of money and the value it can bring. So each time a review is recorded, you have a transaction made in this token. But when you create the review, you create the content, you put some effort, and you create something that is used in the network, you create a kind like NFTs. So you have a content that can be valued by other members, by the brands, by the retailers, by your friends, by anybody. And each time you create a content, you create a transaction valuing the blockchain itself, the distributed network, and that can also, it's kind of a token back that allows you to have directly some money. And after that, as we should discuss also, you have an infinite way of potential interoperability between the ecosystem, for example, loyalty companies, coupons companies, or any payments mechanism. So the point which is interesting is that as a community, as you said, Manu, you have the opportunity to create your own system of money, of reward, but of any tangible, intangible good assets that you share with people. And you integrate the value that you want to integrate at this core, because the way we are thinking things is that you can integrate a true governance mechanism. We talk about that, about the DIO, and you can integrate all in the same space. So the challenge here is to make all of this ecosystem understandable with a good UX-friendly design and so on, but it's already happening with the example you quote before. People are adopting those assets right now. So it's real, and in 5 years, in 10 years, the future of money will be all composed with those kind of assets.
And what I find this really interesting is by talking about value transfer and by using tokenization as the way to make that happen, brands and the people who love those brands are being pulled closer because it can really be just a single degree of separation between them. that's really fascinating. So whether it's rewards between a brand and the people who love that brand, or I mentioned PSG, so you probably heard recently that Lionel Messi came to Paris Saint-Germain and made a lot of money, changing from Barca to be able to come to Paris. $40 million a year for 2 years, and his $40 million welcome bonus was paid partially in PSG tokens. So this is not just a fake thing that's kind of out there looking for people who care about crypto and are super into Bitcoin or whatever. We're seeing more and more large adoption of these ideas. And what do PSG tokens bring to people who hold them? Well, maybe you get to vote on the color of the next Mayo, or the message that shows up on the captain's armband, or you get to sit in a special section of the stadium when you go to a match because you actually hold tokens for PSG. And then participating in that economy brings you, people love to be super close to the things that like that. And so I think this transfer of value is why the future of money for me is tokenized and decentralized, because it doesn't have to be dollars or euros that are bringing those rewards or bringing that value of things together. So to that idea, there's 20 minutes, we can't possibly enter into all of these discussions. There's so much going on, but there are, we've seen traditional finance over the past year rapidly embrace on the investment side Bitcoin and Ethereum. Massive, massive investments into these spaces, billion-dollar funds being created for this. That's potentially on the speculative side, but also believing in where the startups are going in this space. I think, I don't know, just to kind of close out our time together, for each of you to kind of have where you see the future of money going from your particular perspectives, simply because we can't escape today a news almost every day of a very interesting tokenized or decentralized approach to finance that is becoming more and more mainstream. SoRare is the newest example of that. And just actually to just explain the SoRare thing that's so interesting, it's fantasy football, it's soccer, but if you hold one of those NFTs, you get more than just the fact you're owning the card. Maybe you sit in that special section of the stadium, or you get to go to a VIP meet and greet, or all kinds of stuff. There's a layer baked in there. So, Manu, where do you think this is going?
I mean, I don't think the future of money is happening later. I think the future that is happening right now. Like, we're living already. I think that, money should not have borders. Money should be created by anyone. I think that money should be free to flow. And yeah, I just think that it's happening right now. And we're living it. I'm living it. As a Venezuelan, I'm living it.
It's amazing what's happening in those economies. Rally, which is the largest social token platform, they just raised $50 million. And I launched the Ethan coin a couple months ago. You can go buy some of me if you feel like you want to own a little Ethan. But there's lots of ways that's really interesting for the influencers that have like Twitch or YouTube or things where they're streaming, where people can get automated access to their private Discord channel or a special icon next to their name when they're in Twitch. It may not sound like anything, but people love to be close to their brands, and it's not about being monetized, it's about the transfer of value. Yeah. So what you're saying is brilliant. Sarah Diane, how would you then close that out for us to connect all that from your side?
I think Manu said it all, but yes, maybe we have the opportunity to create like a token, as I said, and a new kind of ecosystem with those kind of value like trust, transparency, community. And actually, at the time, we were like, okay, blockchain will disrupt all the third parties, trusted third parties, and so on. But what we can see is that more and more players are using the blockchain because they have the trust as a core business, and they want to show transparently that they are doing good, that they are doing what they say they do, actually. So the fact that you have this total transparency and trust implemented is the core value of what blockchain and crypto, which are not dissociable, bring to this future of money.
Thank you so much. So it's time for us to close ourselves out. This is a great event of the influencers that are building the innovation economy of France. I challenge those of you here that are listening to this, if you have preconceptions about what crypto used to be, what blockchain used to be, that is not where we are at now, and I encourage you to help make France a blockchain and crypto nation on top of all the other amazing places this country is leading in innovation. We can also be a blockchain and crypto leader, and it's up to us and up to you. Thank you so much for listening to us.